And we live and back on my channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And y'all know this is not gonna happen in this video, but we'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, be sure to like the video so that James's stuff can get back into the algorithm. I'm happy to be, and I am
Yeah.
happy the colorless women are back and married. I am.
Damn, y'all. Damn. But, make sure you subscribe to Mrs. Best's channel because any reviews or recaps that I don't cover on my channel, it's because we're on her channel. We just got done doing Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. If you watch that show and enjoy commentary, go ahead and subscribe to my girl's channel. Watch me get ignorant because I love to be ignorant off the channel. I do. Shout out to my girl Shani, who is here in the chat with us. She let y'all know she is always first. We appreciate you. It was actually funny when I watched it the second time. As I told Mrs. Best, I said it was kind
It
of.
wasn't the most entertaining first episode. It was a slow start, but I did laugh the whole time.
I did absolutely. Hey, DM Rocks, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Oh my gosh, I was so happy to get a break from her. Even her one little scene didn't bother me. I'm like, yes, thank God. Yes, I'm glad y'all are interacting in the chat. Y'all, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 6, episode 1. The episode was called Hotdogs and Hearsay. And it was a funny episode. I ain't gonna lie, it was really funny. But I don't know, I feel like the premiere for season 5 was a lot more authentic and had a lot more going. But hey, I'm just glad they're back because they were entertaining to say the least. They were very
I think the reason that this was also it was a good episode in terms of funniness, but I think the last season premiere felt a little more interesting because we had newbies. Now we just have people that we already knew. And I've been saying this about Salt Lake City. I feel like part of what makes it interesting is because they're not scared to put a new cast member on this thing. So
They're not.
but I think all of the women they have now, I do think they have the right fit for a good cast.
I can't wait to get to that part because yes, DM Rocks, that made me laugh as well. I was hollering. But let's get into the episode, y'all. So, this episode starts off with Angie K. Should I just call her Angie? Because I always call her. I'm gonna call her Angie K. Because that's what I know her as. Angie K drives over to Mary's house. Mary is still in her house. For all of y'all who said her house was foreclosed home, she ain't in the chat right now, but they was in my DMs talking about Mary got her house foreclosed on. She broke, and I'm like, y'all, Mary's house is paid for.
Mary did get her house foreclosed, but it was not the house in Salt Lake City. People have selective eyes in what they see when they read things. She had properties that were foreclosed on, and it was not her fault, and it was actually connected to Robert Sr.
Exactly. Thank you. Yep. And I'm just like,
that's why I clarify. Don't come in the comments this season with that bullshit, please.
Right, because it's like, y'all, this lady is not broke. She far from it. Trust me. So Mary, she honked the horn in this RV. And when I tell you Mary came out the house with 6 bags, I said, Mary, where is you going with all that stuff? I'm sure y'all is not going to be gone no 5 and 6 days. You're probably going to be gone for the most 2. But
Mary got her look together. So maybe if it takes 6 bags for her to keep coming on camera looking like looking better than season 1, I'll take it.
You're so crazy. I can't. That wig was toe up. I'm sorry. And that Mary Kay makeup. Yeah, she's definitely getting better with her looks. I'm proud of Mary. But Mary went up in that RV. She said, "Oh no, because apparently her grandmother owned RVs and would take the kids, I guess, camping. And she said that it was fun when she was a kid, but as a grown adult with 7 other women, no, that's not going to be great at all." And oh yes, when she told Angie, "Why are you dressed for the office?" That's probably where she was coming from, though. No lie. That's probably where she was coming from. We don't get off Angie. Mary had the jokes. Mary was coming at everybody.
Mary is effortless with it. It's so genuine. You could tell she just be saying what goes through her head.
And it just lands so well. It just does.
Angie is perfect for her because she just ignored it.
She did ignore it, or if she answered it, she was like, "Oh, Mary," you know how she do. But Angie begins. Mary said, "Wait, because Mary meets the driver. I think his name was Teague. Mary meets the driver, and she go, Angie, what you doing? She goes, I'm gonna drive. She go, you gonna drive? Uh-uh. She goes, oh Lord, and Mary was full. I tell you, when Angie started up that RV, I hollered because Mary was holding on for dear. If y'all saw Mary's hands, Mary was holding on for dear life. And I'm sure Angie know what she was doing. But I told Mary, it's better Angie driving than me because when I tell you I cannot drive one of those things to save my life, I cannot drive one of those. So Mary was cracked, but Mary was holding on for dear life. So they're going to Beauty Lab because y'all know anytime they go somewhere, the meeting place is Beauty Lab for whatever reason. So the other ladies are at Beauty Lab, and the only person who's missing is Lisa. And Meredith let the ladies know that Lisa's not coming on this trip. And everyone's like, oh, okay. And they asked, okay, well, Angie and Mary are putting together the trip. Do you know where we're going? And the ladies are all like, no. Whitney said she called Mary and asked to get more information, but Mary wasn't saying anything. And Meredith said, yeah, I called Mary too. It was mainly just to help me pack. And I was like, help you pack? I didn't like that comment. I was like, why would she need to help you pack? Like, I mean, because if she did help you pack, it didn't help. But the other, I think it was Heather who said she talked to Angie, and Angie was being typed about a well. So they showed the invitation where it's off of this pier where it says beaches, bikinis, and blessings. And literally, Brittany was all like, oh, well, I hope we're going somewhere nice because I have on a bikini. And literally, Robin Gibbons us. If y'all don't know the reference, then you're too young. But literally had a bikini top under a coat. And we were like, Brittany, what is going on? Why do you have that on? Like, it is cold in Salt Lake City at this point. You ain't got no clothes on? Lord Jesus, help me. So Angie pulls up, and the ladies act like they don't see it. But then she started honking the horn, and they were like, and it was Brownwood's response to me. She said, oh, for fuck's sake. When I tell you I hollered, because that would have been me. I'm not one for RVs, y'all. I'm telling you, I am not one for RVs. I don't. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I'm not one to go on a long trip. I'm just not, and probably because I've never been on one like that. So, but yeah, that was my response. So the ladies are all getting on the bus, and everyone's confused because they were like, "Mary planned this trip. Like this is something Mary would do, like an RV." And everyone, Mary's like, but Mary takes one for the team. She doesn't let the ladies know that she had no idea. Because I'm gonna ask Mrs. Best this question: do you think Mary had any idea that Angie was planning this, or do you think collectively they did this together?
No.
I don't either. I don't think this is
She
Mary.
would have. One thing about Black people, it don't matter how uppity you are. It don't matter if you're Uncle Tim or a YN. We will make sure that our wardrobe is fit and appropriate for the occasion. If Mary would have known that she was going to be skiing, now I do believe she will have a fur coat down to the toes, the trench fur coat, regardless. But she probably would have had on like a snow boot, a tennis shoe, something. I would have been pissed off, honestly. Don't fucking do that shit with me if you invite me somewhere. If you invite me somewhere and you talking about it's a surprise trip, and I love camping, but I need to prepare. I need to prepare to be in the wild. Don't do that to me ever, James.
James, girl,
Please.
you ain't inspired by me. I don't care. So what the hell are you talking about, James? I can't. The hell?
You gotta prepare people for
When
stuff
I
like
tell
that.
you, I would not know what to do. We will get into Angie K later on, but I would be Angie in this situation forgetting shit, not knowing what to buy. No, yeah, trust me, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I would never take you camping. I'm not a camp. I just don't. I wouldn't know what to do. To do camping, then you have to prepare me. Tell me in advance. I have to get my mind right, right?
Right.
And I have to make sure I have the right snacks and the right food and the right. See, I don't even be thinking about that kind of stuff. I'd be worried about where to plug in the appliances.
I need bug repellent,
Yes, medicine.
food, granola bars, okay,
See, I'm about
vitamins.
to see. I would have no survival instincts. I would die out there. I really would. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know
Well,
what to
James,
buy.
you
I
think
wouldn't
fidget spinner?
know. I don't know how to do it. I
Oh,
wouldn't know what to do. I probably would be in an RV living because I
But I
wouldn't know what.
had your tent.
Girl,
The hell?
I don't know how
You
to
never
pitch
did
those.
Boy Scouts?
No,
I was a Girl Scout. I got kicked out, but I was a Girl Scout.
I've been camping a whole bunch of times. Like, my family went camping, but we always had an uncle or somebody to teach to kind of do it for us. Like, I was never that person that was inquisitive enough to want to do it myself. My uncle would do it for us. Like, my uncle would put up the tent. My uncle was cooking the food. Literally, I didn't like seriously all the times I went camping. I have never done anything. And then we always went with people who had the right shit. Like Cornell, our neighbor, my aunt's neighbor, went camping with us and he had all the lights. He had a generator. He had shit that I wouldn't even think to bring on a camping trip. So, yeah. Like,
Standard, James. I cannot.
yeah, I would not know what to do. So I would be useless out there. I really would.
I'm
But,
gonna teach you, friend, because
no, don't teach me because it would be worthless for you because I'm not gonna remember none of that shit. But anyways, so the ladies are driving in the RV, and the conversation comes up about hold on, I'm skipping a scene. Whitney,
oh god,
Whitney. Let me
I
explain
don't like
something.
this hair color on her.
I don't either. I thought I would because it surprised me at first, but then when I really looked at it, it looked like a box job. It does not look like she went and got her hair done. But Whitney, y'all, so they're about to leave, and all they see are men in SWAT uniforms coming up to the door. Now, anybody who knows me, particularly who studied criminal justice, know that SWAT does not come until they're called. They're not the first to show up on scene. So right then and there, I would have known that was some bullshit. But the ladies are like, why is SWAT here? Why is SWAT here? And they immediately call for Whitney once Heather go gets the door. And once they get the door and Whitney comes outside, she goes, what's going on? And they said, you've been a very bad girl, and put the handcuffs on her. And then they started belly rolling. And I said, oh my God. So then they went up in the RV and the ladies were all throwing ones at them. And the man was handcuffing Mary. Mary said, wait, I don't even know you. Why are you putting the handcuffs on me? Mary was killing me. And then in her confessional, she said, where's the muscles? No, that don't even matter. I said, no, Mary, you had the right idea because where was the Whitney? Stop. Why would you? Because to me, this is given she went to the local college and rounded up 6 boys and paid them each $200 to come up there and do all of this. That looked like the most amateur move I've ever seen in my life. Whitney, don't ever do this again. Don't ever do it again. The dancers was cute. It was a cute prank. Okay, Shanny. I ain't saying that. Okay. I expected better from Whitney. I'm sorry, I did. She said
I
the red
did
hair.
not. I'm sorry, I have to disagree. I did not. I don't expect better from Whitney. That was on par, I think, for Whitney's behavior. From every season I've watched of the show, Whitney seems to lean into anything that is viewed as sexy, sexual, or something that goes against the grain of the religious culture in Utah. So it was lame. It was corny as hell. I was not impressed, but that's on par for Whitney.
I was talking about the aesthetic, and I'm sure she could have found much cuter. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's Utah.
Okay.
I'm surprised she found a stripper. Honestly.
It says off topic. Candace did an interview talking about traders and said the way it ends. She said someone is getting cussed out at the reunion. I don't do traders. The only season I watched was with Phaedra, and even that was like I got the concept, but I think it was Sheree who was pissing me off when I was watching the show. It was
there.
Yeah, Sheree was on. Sheree was on the same season as Phaedra.
She's not smart enough for that.
Yeah, that's why I said that's why I said it pissed me off because it was like, and she got pretty far too. So I was like, what the hell? Okay, Sheree. But so the ladies are now in there and they're talking about, where's Lisa? Like, why didn't Lisa come on the trip? And Heather said in her confessional that I'm sure we would have arranged this around her schedule. Like, I don't know what's going on with Lisa. She obviously didn't want to be with us or someone on the trip. And so Angie K said that, when she talked to Lisa, she said she had a work thing. And she's, and I can't determine. This is what Angie K said that cracked me. She goes, "Well, I can't determine if it was a word thing or she didn't want to be with Bronwyn." And so when they flash back to Lisa talking, she was saying, "Oh yeah, I can't stand Bronwyn. She's so fake. She lies. She always wants to come after me." And it was kind of like, Lisa, don't be exhausting already. This is only episode 1, and you had one little scene, and already I'm tired. So it was pretty evident that, Lisa just didn't want to be on this trip. And Whitney kind of alluded to that. She goes, I don't think she wanted to be on the trip. I hardly doubt that Lisa has anything going on. She didn't want to come. And Brittany gets offended and was like, no, Lisa 100% had a work event. She 100% had to do something with Whitney. That's not nice. How dare you say that about Lisa? And we all look like, where the fuck did this come from? Brittany then proceeds to say, me and Lisa are very good friends, and I will not have anyone speak about her. And it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Pump your brakes. Since when are you and Lisa good friends? I was alone in this car. Sorry, y'all. I live on a really long street. Sorry. But I need someone to answer. When did Lisa and Brittany become such good friends? Mrs. Best, can you answer that question? When did they become such good friends? I got lost.
I believe so. I saw this coming. I had commented on it. If you guys go back to James's live for the previous season, Lisa befriends whoever is available when she's been caught up doing something wrong. Because Lisa's terrible. She's not loyal to anybody. We've watched her screw over, talk about, and be shady against everyone on the show. She's self-centered. It's not enjoyable, and her husband's a sucker and can't drive. So I feel like Lisa's only friendly with Brittany because she saw at the reunion that pretty much every woman has something negative to say about her. They all feel she's self-centered. So I think she leaned into Brittany. She was also the only one who didn't attack Brittany horribly. But if everybody on the cast is not messing with you and you don't care for Heather, because Heather don't count. Heather's so far up Lisa's ass. Heather is up Lisa's ass the way she was up Jen Shah's ass.
Pretty much.
She's changed asses. Either way, she likes sniffing around ass. But yeah, I feel like Lisa just has to have somebody and an ally, so she's going to befriend this girl, which is honestly a smart strategy. That way you can't be iced out, don't always have to be around them, but can remain relevant because she is still being talked about even though she's not there. But I do feel like she a coward for not showing up.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. So the conversation then takes a turn because then Brittany pulls out her reverse card and said, what about your businesses and how you're on social media and TikTok just exposed you? And Whitney was taken aback. She goes, how did we get here, Brittany? Why are you talking about my businesses? That is how I make my money. Don't talk about my business. Don't talk about stuff you don't know. She goes, well, it's out there, Whitney. What do you want me to do? You're talking about Lisa. I don't think that's fair for her. Lisa's not even here to defend herself. And in Brittany's confession, she goes, Lisa is my very good friend, and I have her back, and I will go against anybody who comes for her. And I'm looking at her like, would she do the same for you? Just ask yourself that question, Brittany. If you were in position where they were coming at you, do you think Lisa would have had your back? People in the chat, people listening right now, all of my viewers who missed the live that come in later, do y'all think firsthand that if Brittany was in the situation to where the ladies were talking about her behind her back on this camping trip and she didn't go, that Lisa would be speaking up for her? Mrs. Best, do you believe that?
I already said what I said. Lisa's self-centered. She ain't gonna speak up for nobody but herself. Again, that's the only reason she's talking to Brittany, because every woman acknowledged that part of her publicly. She can go. Listen, I see a lot of colorless women on the internet commenting like, oh my God, Lisa's iconic. She's keeping the show. I don't buy most of Lisa. I think she's incredibly disingenuous. One of the most disingenuous housewives we have across all of the franchises. Her hot mic moment where she said all that about Meredith, I think she very well knew that she was mic'd and understood what was happening. I don't buy half of the shit that she gives. I personally think she avoided this trip because she don't want to talk about the lawsuits.
Exactly. Because she knew
Why are
somebody
there
was
so
going.
many?
She knew somebody was going to bring them up, which we'll get to in a minute. So then Whitney hits her. Well, how do you make your money, Brittany? And then when she said sucking dick, I about hollered because Brittany couldn't answer her. And that was actually a good question. Brittany, what do you do for a living? I'm curious because you live a very nice lifestyle. And I just don't foresee Jared Osmond having that kind of coin. His aunt and uncle, absolutely. But him, no. So I'm curious. I wish you would have answered that question. So we then, as well, we didn't really move on. T got tired of that conversation and slid a corner so fast, all the shit started falling down, and I was hollering. I said, T, yep, that's how you do it. That's how you shut them up. So then they arrive to the site. And before they get to their actual campground, they drive through what looked like an abandoned junkyard. We saw a school bus, we saw a crane, we saw a tractor. Heather had to point out the green dumpster, and everyone started laughing like it's a dumpster. Y'all ain't never seen a dumpster before. And they're all confused, like, what's going on here? And Mary said, I ain't had nothing to do with this. This was not me. This was all Angie. I ain't had nothing to do with nothing. Don't point at me because I did not plan this. And I was laughing. I said, damn, Mary. I guess Mary said, hell, I ain't going there with you. But once they get to their campsite and actually get out the RV, it actually was very pretty. It really was. It was a very pretty aesthetic. I love the water scenery. I love looking at the mountains. It was very pretty. So honestly, I think it was definitely worth it in the end. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about when they arrived to the site?
Um, Campsites are never really that impressive when you first arrive. It was pretty when they got out to it. I just want to know why colorless people feel the need to go and sit outside in snow. I don't I don't have that desire.
I don't either.
It's already cold.
I don't either. But I guess for them, it's not. It's cool because I went to school with somebody who told me that he wears shorts in 30-degree weather, and I'm like, why? Is that not freezing? And he goes, no. He goes, it's actually pretty warm. And I'm looking at him like, okay, next person, because I'm not gonna, not gonna. I don't do warm. Like I don't do cold weather like that. So to see snow like that and just to willingly be outside, I would be in the house, making sure every heater is on, making sure every fireplace that I have to is on, because I'm not gonna go out there in that cold. I'm just not doing it. So the ladies then goes to the round table. Angie has lunch for them. She has some sandwiches, some salad, and everything. And poor Brittany. This is where she get this is where she gets stupid. So Brittany saying, "Tink, tink, tink, you guys, I have a fun announcement to make," and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." But actually, what it was is that Brittany had brought everybody little handheld cameras, and she passes them out, and she says that she thought it would be fun for them to kind of document, since she's known as the cast member who records everything. She thought it would be a cute little icebreaker for them to do that, and I thought it was actually pretty cute, and Angie thought it was also a good idea as well. So as she's passing around, everyone started playing with theirs, and it was funny. Because Mary kept trying to get her and Meredith in the shot, and half of Mary's face was gone. I was like, Mary, hold the camera right. Why are you doing this? It was so funny. So as you know, the scene continues. Lisa comes up again, and I'm like, why is Lisa coming up? Once again, I'm like, y'all leave Lisa where she at. I'm telling you, y'all are ruining my whole mood of watching y'all mentioning Lisa's name. But they mentioned Lisa's name again. And, you know, I guess everyone was like, well, who's talked to Lisa? Meredith says she's talked to Lisa. And what's so crazy about Heather, or was pissing me off in this scene, is I already knew Heather was going to be the ass kisser that she already is. But I am so tired of Heather and this wanting to know what she already knows. Because Brahma put it out there that Lisa has a whole lot she needs to be dealing with. And I know the real truth. I looked up the lawsuits, and everybody here, I'm sure, knows this information. And Heather goes, "No, I don't know no such thing. And I've never heard of that." And Angie was like, "Heather, it's in the Salt Lake City Tribune. How do you not know this?" And they pulled up the actual post of Lisa and one of the lawsuits of her owing $400,000. And it's a civil lawsuit, from what Meredith explains. It's civil, and banks is out here suing people. Y'all better pay off y'all stuff. Y'all better pay Fannie Mae and stuff they loans back, because banks are now suing people left and right. So it's not, to me, that wasn't really that crazy to me, because that's what they're doing now. So Meredith makes the correlation that it's fine because you have to borrow money a lot to make money and start businesses and stuff, and Brown was like, "Yeah, that's true, but you also have to pay him back as well." And Meredith can argue that. So, Mrs. Best, I have to ask you: do you really think that Heather did not know about these lawsuits and that she was just capping for Lisa,
I'm
or do
not
you
doing
really?
I'm not doing this season with Heather. Nothing
I'm not,
Heather says is credible.
when I tell you Heather was pissing me off, I said, "Heather, you are so up this lady's ass. It's so crazy." But Bronwyn then brings out, like, listen, I'm not saying that Lisa, is in dire or not when it comes to the lawsuits or any rumors that I heard. I just know that this information is out there. And Heather goes, "Okay, but yeah, we could say the same thing for you because you can purchase that $4 million necklace that you brought on that season." And this is where Bronwyn actually had to take accountability. And she said, "Yes, I did not buy the $4 million necklace. And it was kind of an ego driven thing for me to actually flaunt like that, knowing that I couldn't do it. And I'm sorry I did that because I wanted to fit in with you ladies." I hate that she did that. And I hate that she thought she had to do that to fit in with these ladies. It was like Monica Garcia when she felt like she needed to buy that Louis Vuitton purse in order to fit in with these ladies. And y'all, if y'all been watching me since Monica Garcia's season, what was that, season 4? I told Monica, "Girl, go get you a purse from Ross and rock that shit." Because half of these women didn't have money when they first got on this show. So go ahead and rock your little purse at Ross. Go get you a Honda Odyssey because you got kids, and do all of that. Like, Bronwyn, your man has money. You need to prove that shit to these ladies. So for you to actually do that and then admit that that shit was a ploy this entire time, I was kind of disappointed. Mrs. West, how did you feel about Brahman owning up to the fact that she kept a lie going about the necklace to try to fit in with the ladies?
It was the most honest form of being disingenuous that could exist. And I say that because don't think that you can just be on TV telling people lies and bullshit and then thinking that because you own up to them that we're going to forget that you told lies and did this. Because if you did it once, you'll do it again.
Absolutely. I thought that made me take a step back from Brahman a little bit, just because I liked Brahman the first season. I really did. I thought she was the only one that really, besides Mary, that could really get Lisa all the way together. Like, I really thought that she was, and she did it in a way that actually made logical sense. That's why I'm just like, why, Brahman, would you do that? Because this now makes me question all of the moments you had last season of whether or not my likeness of you should be skewed back some. So I'm gonna give Brahman another chance, y'all, because I felt like it was the least she could do was fess up to it. But I'm just mad that because that gave Heather ammunition. Because y'all know Heather ain't seen it for Bronwyn ever since Bronwyn admitted that her and her husband don't have a prenup. Heather been up this girl ass and been on her since that time. So you just gave Heather the leg up that she needed, and I don't like that because I feel like there's no one that is more disingenuous on this show than Heather. So the fact that you would do that, it's crazy. But we're gonna move on, y'all. We get another team. You guys, this is Brittany, y'all. I have another announcement to make. So me and Jared got engaged. And this is Mary Face. I was hollering because Mary looked like, "Girl, if you don't cut that shit out." And then she said, "But 2 weeks later, we got disengaged." Y'all. I see why Bravo kept her. I do. I see why Bravo kept her. I see why Bravo is giving her this friend role because she's satisfied with it. But Bravo in that call center, y'all need to put parameters on her business and what she can expose because it's annoying. Mrs. Best, go ahead because I know you want to issue.
It's bullshit and for a story. Like you said, this ain't the Osmond with all the Osmond money. They are better and more relevant together than they are apart.
Are they? Because to me,
if they are
like
together and doing this stupid song and dance, especially in engagement after what we saw last season, then for her, that's a storyline. I feel like Britney's goal in life is to become a housewife. I just do. And I feel like she'll do anything she can to get that.
I feel like, to me, it just goes to show, like, really how crazy she is and how this circumstance ain't taught you nothing. Like, this man played you. All on TV, you crying over this. Something's not right with her in the head. Just something's not right. And so Whitney was looking like, okay, but did he? Because I guess someone asked her, are they still together? And she said, yeah, we're still together. And Whitney's like, well, that's news to me because when I see him at the gym, he act like he very much single, and he be going to the cafe and he be having all kind of girls up there, and he even introduces me to them. And Heather was like, well, no, it's a cafe, Whitney. Like, come on, you know that's not a real date. And Whitney looked at her and said, girl, if you don't stop playing, don't play with the cafe because you know they got some good ass chicken salad. Don't do that. And I said, oh, she didn't want some chicken salad now that she said that. But yeah, I 100% agree with Whitney. Like, if he's taking the stance to introduce me, obviously he wants to be seen and heard with other people other than you, Brittany. So you doing that is just making you just look stupid all over again. And yes, he's going to come on these cameras and be here with you because it's publicity for him. He's not, he's trying to get his own notoriety out there. So what it is, Brittany, come on. Be smarter than what you are. Y'all, so Angie did tell the ladies, okay, so we have a couple of activities we can do. So we have the fly fishing or the kayak. So Whitney and Heather decide they want to do the kayak, and Whitney automatically invites Bronwyn on the thing. And Heather swung that hair and looked at Whitney and was like, what? And I liked when Whitney flicked her hair back, like, yes, Bronwyn's coming with us. And so the rest of the ladies go fly fishing. So when we get to Whitney, Heather, and Bronwyn, Whitney decides to be messy and put them on the same kayak, and she takes the single one. And I was like, okay, Whitney, we see what you're doing, like, but come on. All this was going to either be one of two things: either they're going to work well with each other, or they're going to be Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Contessa working against each other on the kayak. So, I mean, it looked nice for what it was, and they actually were getting along, surprisingly. Then we have the infamous flag fishing, and they're all, doing this. They're all doing the casting and doing the fishing. And Meredith's like, how long does this take? Because y'all know Meredith ain't for all this. Meredith want to just sit and relax. That's all Meredith's go-to is. Meredith's like, how long is this going to take? And the man really couldn't give her an answer. She kept asking that question. And Mary was all like, well, I feel bad if I catch it. I want to automatically release it. Like, I want to give it, like, CPR and then put it back in the water so it can live on this life. And the man is looking at her like, you can't give a fish CPR. And it was like, she goes, yes, you can. Mary said, yes, you can. I was like, Mary, oh, my God. Mrs. Best, when Mary said that, what was your first thought?
I'm sorry. The apartment building next to me is being evacuated.
Damn.
I didn't catch what you said because I was like, what the heck? There's fire trucks and stuff.
I was mentioning the fly fishing and that Mary was talking about giving the fish CPR, and I was hollering. What was your first reaction when Mary actually said that?
Mary don't surprise me no more with the crazy stuff she say. The funniest part of it was her trying to have the fisherman back her up.
She
That was
just
the funny,
says,
and she got that man's name wrong 3 times in a row. I said, right? Gusty will tell you. He's a professional. He's like, actually, no. I'm just looking like Mary.
it's like, Mary, come on, Mary. Mary be killing y'all. Mary is so funny. Like, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people don't like Mary, but I love her. I'm sorry, I do. She's one of my favorite housewives. Just because she's just so funny, she's so ditzy. The fashions is terrible. The wig on the depending on the day is questionable. So it's like, how can you not love her? Like, I'm sorry. I always loved her since season one. I always did. But once the flag fish, everyone returns back, and Angie said, "Well, we have to cook our own dinner, so let's go ahead and get the food and everything." And this is me once again because I don't know what the fuck to do when it comes to camping. So Meredith is building the fire. Mary brings some veggie hamburgers and some buns, and then they have hot dogs. But Angie K forgot to get the condiments and forgot to get the hot dog buns. So they're asking her, well, where's the um what is it called that you put over the fire? Oh God, it's slipping out my mind. But I guess the pig crates to cook the food. And she goes, oh, I forgot it. And she goes, well, this is nature. Just put it on the skewer. So everyone's putting hot dogs on the skewer. And then Mary finds some bagels. And Mary just took a bite off the bagel. She said, I guess I'm going to be hungry because Mary's hamburger, you can't cook a hamburger on a stick. So Mary's burgers weren't getting done. I was just like, this is just a disaster. But that's me because I would forget shit too because I'm not thinking in my mind how we going to cook this stuff. And like, I'm just not thinking that far ahead of it. So, Mrs. Best, do you think that far ahead? Like, would you have been fully prepared to cook on a campfire and everything?
Everybody's stupid, or maybe it's just me. Okay, and here's why I was calling everybody out. Everybody out. Y'all are all missing something, James included. They came on an RV. Do you know what's in an RV?
A stove.
A stove.
Yeah.
And pots and pans
I
that
don't
fell
trust. I
out
don't
when
think.
they were driving. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, hot dog on a stick, whatever. We ordered that, but poor Mary and that burger. Mary, I would have went inside of the RV and figured something out. I would have figured something out. But again, how you plan the doggone trip and forget stuff. See, a planner is not the person who just plans the trip. A planner, like I always end up doing that. I like the Brandy and Monica concert. Somehow I've been taxed as the one to hold everybody's money that I'm going with and to plan the whole event. But you're supposed to have everything figured out. You just supposed to have everything figured out. She should have planned to have her pots and pans. She should have had that packed up in the RV. Like, Angie, this is not like Angie. I expect better from her. You put these bitches in the wilderness to sleep in a small space, a bunch of them, while y'all got open beefs. They was in water in the snow in front of a fire with no way to cook food. Heather kept spraying the fire with lighter fluid. She should have
Like
got
I
a fucking
said,
cabin. A
I
mess.
would. Like I said, I wouldn't even know to do that. Now, see, listen.
Oh my god!
I'm telling you, I am useless out there. When I tell you, I wouldn't know what to do. I would starve. I really would because I'm like, what do I do? Like, how do I make this work? Like, what? Like, seriously? Like,
If
no.
me and my full set and pedicure toes can get it done, I believe in you, James.
Okay, that's a lot of faith. But anyways, y'all. So as they're getting their dinner ready and everything, here come Brittany once again. She says that she is very upset at Whitney for, this whole situation with, Lisa and everything. And Heather goes, well, who really has a problem with Lisa outside of Bronwyn? And Whitney raised her hand. And she goes, Brittany's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you feel like you can do this. Like even what you said about me, like I'm still upset about that. Like I'm upset that you said that I can't even repeat it because it's just so horrible. And it was like, oh my God, you are a lady in your 50s. You can do this. Like, what are you talking about? And Whitney had to tell her, like, look, you came at me first. And the reason why I'm coming at, and I'm saying all these things about Lisa is because, look, at the end of the day, my business failed. So I don't have lawsuits going around. I don't have things going around. I wouldn't keep that from y'all. My business failed. And if y'all would have given me a moment, I would have said that. Like, I lost everything. And that's when Whitney reveals, what the blogs have been saying about her, is that she lost everything. Like everything that Justin invested into the company, she lost it all. So they literally have nothing now. And that is so sad. Like when you really think about, that's why you don't start businesses on these Housewives franchise. Because first off, Bravo gets a cut of that shit. And when you think about Bravo getting a cut of money that is already hard on a fresh started business, that takes away revenue that you could be using towards something else, like paying your employees, paying yourself back for stuff. So to me, it was kind of like a double-edged sword to start that business on the show like that. So I kind of feel bad, but in the same instance, thank you, Bethany Frankel, wherever you are in life. Bravo now gets cut of whatever business venture you want to bring onto the show. That's why it's smart not to bring your business venture to so unless it's like a throwaway business where you're good regardless of what money it makes. So I really want to know, like, what kind of dire straits are we talking? Like, do y'all have to sell? Like, Shana just mentioned, because I was just going to say this. Do y'all need to sell that big ass house that y'all just bought now to pay off some shit? Like, what are we talking about, Whitney? I needed her to elaborate. And so once she starts getting emotional, Brittany then feels bad. And Brittany was all like, damn, I'm sorry, Whitney. Like, I just was protecting Lisa. Like, I really did not know that that's what you were going through. And the ladies were all kind of, consoling Whitney about, them having failed businesses and that it's hard being an entrepreneur. And, Brittany was feeling it in the spirit and was like, you know what, Whitney, I'm so sorry. So she goes over to give her a hug. And Whitney was telling the story and then she froze and was like, she said, Brittany, I'm not here for a hug right now. Let me finish what I got to say. She goes, okay, but I still want to apologize for the suck dick comment. And we're like, Mrs. Best, if you were pouring your heart out and the person you was going at it with comes to console you in a way that seems condescending, but she does it anyway, but then tells you, oh, but I still want to apologize for the such big comment which you made, what would you tell her in that moment? Because I would have went the fuck off, personally, if it were me.
Y'all seen that meme where Jamie Foxx is acting like Denzel Washington, where he said, get your fucking hands off of me. That's exactly, why are you touching me? I was impressed with Whitney. I would have been like, if you don't get your hands off of me, bitch.
For real.
Brittany, because Brittany is the worst kind of girl. One, she's a follower. I hate weak-minded bitches. And then two, she's manipulative and has to make everything about herself. And she plays it off and tries to get away with it by acting stupid. I don't think the girl is as stupid as she comes off to be or portrays herself to be. Yeah, I would have cussed her out up and down. I probably would have threw her hot dog in the fire. Like she
Damn, not the hot dog in the fire. Oh no, she definitely would have got cussed out. Like, because first off, who are you talking to? Second of all, I had a problem with you. I had a problem with you sticking up for somebody I don't see it for right now. Somebody who I've known way longer than you. So you trying to get in the middle of it is being ridiculous. But the fact that you want me to apologize for some shit that I feel like you do, I'm not apologizing, coming out sorry. I feel like that's what you do because you have yet to say what you do for a living. Do you work at the local farmers insurance where you work at a call center? Like, what do you do for a living? Was her question. You didn't want to answer it. So we're only right to assume because you have a big ass fucking house, you drive a Mercedes SUV. One can assume one of them, or do you have family wealth like some of these other people? Like, you're not saying what you do. So therefore, one can only assume. And you had such thing. And the reason why I'm like saying, well, James, that's kind of unfair to assume that's what she does. She pointed it out with Bronwyn when it came to her questioning her husband. Why are you so quick to point that shit out?
That's why I'm saying Brittany is not as innocent as she seems. She's not as stupid as she seems. People like, for instance, Shani says her timing sucks. Her timing does suck. It's an intentional timing at the same time. She knows what
Yes.
she's doing.
Yes.
I thought last season she was just stupid. I still think she's stupid, just in a calculated way.
Mm-hmm.
But Brit's condescending. They're the worst type of people. You want to tear me down to defend your friend. I only said that because I was defending Lisa. You can defend your friend without tearing somebody else down. You really
Mm-hmm.
can. So it's interesting that she went that route. Also, where is Lisa?
Right, because at this point, Lisa might as well just show up. But then Brittany walks away after she said such a comment, and Meredith was like, "Oh, Brittany, get over yourself." She goes, "Me? Brittany goes, me, Meredith. You flipped on me when we were friends." And Meredith said, "We were never friends. What are you talking about?" She goes, "We were very much so friends, Meredith. And then when the opportunity came, you switched on me and tried to get in with everyone else and all this." And Meredith said, "Brittany, so we were friends? Okay, well, how many times did I call you on the telephone, Brittany?" She goes, well, I can remember one time, twice. You called me twice, and then we had lunch, and it was a very good lunch, by the way." Everyone starts laughing because that's kind of like the most stupid thing I've ever heard. And Whitney said she called her twice, and Meredith said, "Yeah, twice. But we're such good friends." Okay, Brittany. Y'all, they didn't let Brittany up for air. That shit was so damn funny because it was stupid. It was like y'all were never friends. These heifers don't like you, and you know they don't. So the fact that you still are trying to play in their faces, it's like, what are you doing? Like I would have just shut up at that point. I wouldn't even have said nothing. I'd have been like, okay, well, yeah, y'all win. Whitney, I don't need an apology for those.
The way Meredith read Brittany for filth, though, I do
It
not
was
enjoy being. She was. I do not like you. I do not enjoy being around you. What did she say? I said, Meredith. Jesus.
it was like, damn, give the lady something. But no, don't give her that. No, she needs that. She does. Because Brittany's problem is that Brittany lives in like some old delusional fairy tale land. She does not live in real life. Like she just doesn't. Like, in what real life can you go into a friend group that you don't know and sit up here and assert your dominance this way and think that people are supposed to be receptive to you? Like, where can you go and do that at? This is not a work event. This is not a charity association. This is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, where these women are paid to read each other for filth, semi support their business decisions and choices by showing up in gowns, and literally coming to a reunion to then talk about when you talked behind their backs. That's all that they do. So this is not what you think it is, Brittany. This is not. So cut the shit out. So Heather tries to lighten up the mood because a lot of women noticed that Heather and Brahma were getting along. So Angie asked the question of, so Heather, are you getting along with Brahma genuinely, or is it because Lisa's not here? I said, well, damn, Angie, I have to give you one for that one. You did that. She goes, Angie, how dare you? Really? No, it's because we had a great time on the kayak. I said, okay, Heather. Okay, Heather. Angie, that was a good one. I have to give you a gold star. Angie was the MVP of this episode. That question alone got me on Team Angie this season already. Because it was like, yeah, call her ass out. I want people to start calling Heather ass out. I do, because Heather gets away with way too much. Heather gets away with way too much. What did you say, Shani Twin? It's like me and James are the best friends now because I'm always first on his lives. I know everything about him.
We all friends up in here.
We are friends over here.
I love it.
I got the analogy. I love that because yeah, that's crazy, right? I love the analogy. So it turns Heather wants to go on this Blair Witch hunt for Molly Swarsenson or whatever her name was, the Mormon swinger who used to lure people on this very campground and have them have sex with her boyfriend. That is the most crazy ass nice shit I've ever heard in my life. Who the hell came up with that story? That seems like some made up shit they told y'all so y'all would just stay in y'all dorm rooms. This is Heather's story of Mrs. That was so stupid. It was like, wait, what? Who came up with this story? It's so stupid. So the ladies are all in, the dark. It's light. They have their little mini cams, and Dimples on Demand. Hey, how you doing? Y'all, I'm so over this gas with this the Heather and this foolishness. But they go and they find her and they're all screaming. They're all like, "Oh my God, we can't go back to where we were." And the episode goes off. Y'all, it was like I said, they've had better with season 4 and season 5 premiere episodes were better. This one was okay. It was funny, but it was okay. So, Mr. Best, how did you feel about the season premiere?
The season premiere gave the energy of the season premieres of shows like Housewives of Atlanta when they started to die. I hope that it does not. I hope that it gets interesting. I do feel like personally, after seeing how Brittany is this season and how Lisa is moving, I feel like Brittany needs to go sooner than later, and like she'll disrupt this show in a negative way. Not the relationships, but just like the level of entertainment. I think eventually we'll get tired of her dropping bombs with bad timing, being mean, and then doubling back and apologizing and doing all this craziness. That's really all I have to say for the season premiere. It wasn't bad. It was not bad at all. It was okay. But I think for the hype that we all have for Salt Lake City, because they've had really good seasons since Jen has gone away. I think this is the example of something being overly hyped because the hype did not match the episode's quality.
Gotcha.
But it looks like there's going to be a lot of drama that probably we're just going to have to watch develop. So I think it'll be a good season, but this premiere was
I have a question that just came up in my mind, and I want to know, like, if you think there's a possibility, and who do you think will be on this chopping block once I ask you the question? The question, and those in the chat, feel free to answer this question too. The question is, if Bronco decides to make Brittany a full-time housewife, and they had to eliminate one of the current housewives, who do you think is going to be on that chopping block?
I'm sorry, my husband started talking to me. You got to repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Mr.
Blame
Best. Listen, I got to ask her a question. She got to be focused. Now, the question is, if they decide to make Brittany a full-time housewife and had to replace her with one of the current housewives, who do you see them eliminating and putting Brittany in their place?
Honestly, Heather. And here's why. You don't got to have a man to be a housewife, no. But Heather can't even get a date. So she could go. She can't get a date. She ain't got a storyline.
Let me ask you this question. You brought up an interesting point. Do you think that that's why she has it out for Bronwyn the way that she does? Because Heather had to portray the single mom life. Meanwhile, Bronwyn did too, but Bronwyn instantly found a man to help raise her daughter. Do you think that that's why Heather has such an issue with Bronwyn?
I think Heather is intimidated by anybody that is more successful than she is or as successful as she is. If Bronwyn doesn't have her husband, she can fall back on her degree and her career that she had before him. Heather, if Beauty Lab is gone and Housewives is gone, I don't know what she'd do. I know that she'd figure it out, but Heather doesn't give us wow moments or moments that are interesting. She screamed at Monica and lied about a black eye. But outside of that, she doesn't give much. Brittany, on the other hand, though we don't like her, at the very least, she's always doing something that was interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I agree with the comments. Y'all are cracking me up. I also
Y'all are
agree with Kathy Smith's comment. Housewives as a concept, I think, is dying. I think some of the franchises, especially the newer ones like this one, are going to hang on for some time because they are newer. But I think overall, there's only so far you can go with this concept of the show. But people like Heather, like, she's not good TV. She's light on production, light on cast members. She could go. Brittany, she's annoying, obnoxious, probably a little calculated for her storylines and all of that. But I don't think she would do anything that would be a danger to others. Heather, I do think that.
So here's my thing, because reason why I asked this question is because I can very much see production getting rid of Whitney and putting Brittany in her place.
I could see them. Whitney was like the literal next choice that I would have had, because Whitney, we could really say the same things that we say about Heather about Whitney. Whitney's been a little bit more open with her past, and she keeps us open and involved in stuff and in tune with her marriage. But honestly, when Justin and what happened with his businesses a couple seasons ago happened, and how they just ducked and dived and avoided talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't really care for Whitney either, but Whitney shows up when needed in conversations and things, and I did kind of feel bad for her. I'm like, I know she needs the check so she could stay.
I know, that's why she's probably gonna act the fool this season and really work for that check, because she's gonna desperately need it. But I do feel like it's gonna be Whitney, because Bravo tends to do this when shit start fucking up in people's life. That's when they start letting people go. So
that's true. That is true.
That's why I said
Shani's right. So Heather is the Kyle Richards of Salt Lake City. He just is. So
I think more so the Giselle Bryant than Kyle Richards, because I feel like even though Kyle be full of shit, I feel like to some extent we do see what's going on. I just think it's a very dolled up version of what's going on. See, with Heather, we don't get none of that at all. What Heather does is they pick her, and usually either Lisa or Whitney picks one of the new people and goes at them, or comes after one of the other cast members like Giselle and Ashley do. I think that the Housewives franchise chooses that method of logic to keep the show interesting, and it gets annoying. Because I feel like Heather did that with Bronwyn last season, where she was the new girl, and she's going to continue to pick at her, but Bronwyn ain't no damn fool, and Bronwyn going to back that ass up. So I think that that's where Heather met her match. I thought they thought Braun was going to be some little weak, silly-ass housewife like Brittany and do that. I think that that's really what happened there.
I would love to see more cast members with fiery personalities like Bronwyn. Angie K, I feel like, was a great addition to this show. She's got a fiery personality and will stand on her own. But I would love to see them bring people like Angie K, Bronwyn, Monica, continue bringing new people on the show who have the personalities to stand up to Heather. Because Meredith, I don't know why Meredith is still here. She's someone I always forget about. But Meredith is also somebody I would like to see leave this show. She has her little moments, but honestly, most of Meredith's moments on this show that have seemed relevant or been funny or interesting give Karen moments slightly at the same time, if you know what I mean, like the energy. So I don't really care for Meredith being on this show no more. If I could get rid of Meredith, Heather, and Lisa, I'd be okay with everybody else staying and them adding some new people.
I think we all would, but we know production's not going to do that. I think
we keep saying it. Maybe one day they'll listen.
No, I think that I feel like Meredith's personal relationship with Andy isn't going to keep her here. I do. I feel like her personal relationship with Andy's going to keep her here. I feel like Lisa's nonsensical, obnoxious behavior is going to keep her here. And I don't know what Heather has on production. I don't know what it is. But she has something on them to why, because there's no way Heather had no storyline last season. There's no way y'all are keeping Heather.
She doesn't have a storyline this season. Heather's not going on a date. Her daughters are already off and they're thriving and they're doing great. She did a good job with her kids. Good for her. But she's not dating. She's a follower when she's on the show. She behaved like a pick-me. We don't even really see her doing much at Beauty Lab. So I'm like, why are you here?
It just doesn't make sense. Like I said, they kind of like everybody else I don't have an issue with, but Heather, I've been wanting her to go since season 3. I wish they would have got rid of Heather season 3 and kept Dana. That's who I really wish they like. Whoever product casting is on production, y'all fail us because Dana kept the shit real. See, that was the only reason why I watched season 3. Is because she was going at the only one I was brave enough to go against Jen Shaw. So for y'all to sit up there and keep Heather all these seasons, yeah, so she has something on her. I don't know what it could be, and I don't really care one way or the other. But I just feel like, why keep her? Because she does nothing. It's crazy. But y'all, that was it. That was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. We've been here for a whole hour. I don't want to waste all my time on this first premiere episode. But Salt Lake City was good. I'm gonna keep the show. My next live will be Heart and Hustle Houston, which will be, I believe I'm gonna do it on Sunday with Love and Marriage Huntsville. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep that. And then Real Housewives of Potomac will be here on the 7th of October. So, or not the 7th, excuse me, the 5th of October. They will be here the 5th of October. So I will be picking up that show as well. And also the Braxtons will be here, I think, on the 2nd of October. I have the Braxtons, and then Bell Collective will be here, I believe, on the 17th of October. So I got a lot of shows coming, y'all. They all coming at one time. So y'all pray with me because I already know this is going to be hell. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.